Welcome to the Late Night Race Review.
Get in there, Lewis! You're the man!
Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot. It means a lot to get this one. A big thank you to all the fans here. Love you guys.
And what a sign-off for our joint trajectory here on the British Grand Prix. We couldn't wish for anything better.
Don't forget to support the podcast by hitting those like, follow and subscribe buttons. Welcome back to the Late Night Race Review. I'm Owen Scott, and with me as always is Dave Jericho and Isidro Consalves. I didn't give you a funny name this week because I forgot until just right now. And a British GP, which is pretty much had everything. We went retro and right back to the December 5th of 2021 to find a Lewis Hamilton Grand Prix win. Mind-blowing stat when you think about it. The 5th of December 2021, and nearly 3 seasons ago. Crazy stuff. But win he did, and out came the Union Jacks, Dave, and England got everything they wanted this weekend. It was all pro-England. Was Lewis good for the win? Now, because I only saw the highlights, but was Lewis good for the win, or was there more of that kind of Lando look that Verstappen has been lacking recently?
All right. Well, firstly, I'm delighted to see Hamilton win because I just love seeing records being broken, and the fact that he's now broken the record there for 9 wins on a single track. Previously, obviously, him and Schumacher holding 8 apiece.
Yeah.
So I love that. I just love seeing records being broken, and now Hamilton's somewhat the underdog or something, and that's a very Irish thing to root for the underdog as well. Someone who hasn't won in kind of ages.
Yeah.
But it comes with a little caveat because I think McLaren basically just handed Hamilton the win. They fucked up big time. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But that being said, Hamilton was there to capitalize, and he was fast, and he was genuinely faster than the Red Bull as well today. So it wasn't all just handed to him. So he worked hard for it. So it was great win for him.
Right, Isidro, give me your review. Come on, tell me. Was it a McLaren mess-up, or was it a wonderful Lewis Hamilton all the way?
I have to say 50-50. McLaren messed up because definitely the McLaren was faster. We could see that Norris passed Hamilton with a breeze without any sort of effort. So if they haven't messed up, the Lewis would have to fight harder for the pole, saying that he definitely deserved the way he drove this weekend. It was more than deserved the win after all this year.
And Dave, were you surprised at all at how emotional and how much this actually affected him? He said afterwards that it felt different. He was unbelievably grateful. You could hear him crying over the radio that, this obviously got him deep. It was he's leaving Mercedes. They've been with him since he was a teenager, and it's a big thing for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how much though it was. I know he said about this is his last race here with Mercedes. I think it was more the tears were more that I'd say he thought his career was kind of he's bowing out, and he has said since that he's had thoughts kind of since 2021 of sort of retiring, that it just wasn't kind of going to be coming back to him again. So I'd say there was a bit of just that relief that he knows he can still win races once he has the car under him. So yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know how much, I'm sure it's going to be a sad occasion when he leaves Mercedes. He's there a long time, but I don't think that was the tears. I think the tears was pure relief that, thank God I'm not washed up, and I can still win a race. So, and records as well, which is great. I love it.
Yeah, go on, Isidro.
The tears also maybe that he can see what the future is in Ferrari, and he's just crying because he knows he's leaving Mercedes for Ferrari, and he knows what to expect.
Let's not segue to that mess too early, Dave. If you're going to go Ferrari, I'm going to have to cut you off, buddy. Go on.
I'm just kind of echo what Isidro said. It is, he must be looking at that kind of going, what have? But then, having said that, we look when he left McLaren and went to Mercedes, we all went, what have you done? And they dominated. But this time I'm really like, what are you doing?
I mean, when he signed the contract for Ferrari, Mercedes weren't exactly in the best of positions. It's only really in the last few races, if even like 2 races, that Mercedes have started to kind of show a little bit of promise. But how long will this last for? There was this talk of Mercedes last year, the year before. They have a decent little race, and they're like, oh, I think we finally figured this out. Dave, is this a blip for Mercedes? Is it something that's here to stay, do you think? Because this was not expected at all.
No, I think this is here to stay. Like they like when they come out and says, "Oh, we finally understand what our problem was," we were like, we've heard this like 20 times over the last kind of 2 or 3 years. But genuinely, like, I mean, isn't this the first time they've had, I mean, the back-to-back wins, like, so it's, it's not just a mistake now at this stage. Like, they haven't just stumbled across it. Silverstone, the conditions, the track, it's not like this is track favorable for them, for their car, because the weather is on its own was enough to throw a spanner in the works for any team. So I think genuinely they've got on top of their issues, and they're now developing a quick car again. So I think this is can't say they're gonna be up there fighting for the win every week. But I guess now it's just down to the development race, isn't it? Like, who's gonna be able to get the best out of their car for the next, we got 11 races or something left. Yeah. So yeah.
Cedro, you're actually about to say something. I'll let you kind of say what you're going to say before I ask you what my question was.
I was going to say, this is what's happened to Mercedes is I could see the same with McLaren last year. It was Silverstone that started the rocket ship that McLaren now is. So I can imagine Mercedes doing the same, and not just once or 2 time off. This is probably now we could see the fight for the rest of the season between Mercedes, McLaren, Red Bull, and maybe Ferrari.
For the rest of the season.
No. As you say, you're probably right then when you say that Hamilton's tears are actually more for the fact that he's actually heading to Ferrari than anything else. Another a notable thing with Ferrari there today, something coming out. Who is it that is after leaving Ferrari? We looked that up very quickly. Dave, you have the information there.
Do I?
No, you don't.
No, I do not. I'm here with a blank expression like a Zedro.
in charge of the chassis works.
Is this the guy that's gone to Aston Martin?
Yeah, he's officially. Yes, he's officially left.
Look at us finally getting to the bottom of things.
Effective immediately, he has left. So there's something going on there, and Vasseur has stepped in as into that role for the rest of the season, apparently. So yeah, things are not good at Ferrari. They really aren't.
Like, what do you do there? Like, I mean, like, is it a mass exodus and people are just like, they see the writing on the wall that this team isn't going to be developing in the next 5 years and they don't want to waste 5 years of their career at Ferrari? Or are Ferrari saying you're not good enough and we're kicking you out to replace you with someone else? But the fact is, if Fred's stepping in and they have no one else to replace him,
yeah, it's not good.
That sounds to me like, well, he can't just leave under contract, I guess. He can't just kind of go, I'm off to Aston Martin. So he must have been given the boot, surely.
Yeah, it has to be something like that. Yeah, there's been words. It's definitely interesting times at Ferrari to see what happens. Look, we'll not talk about them just yet. Let's not get too far. Russell,
we're still talking about Hamilton.
Go on.
I think Hamilton, though, there will be a bit of a Hamilton effect when he goes to Ferrari. Like,
absolutely.
He's so experienced and he knows what he wants from a car. Like, I mean, you saw how annoyed he was when Mercedes didn't listen to him when he told them what the issues were with the car. So I can imagine now. I don't know, like Ferrari. I see guys. He just had
the hands straight up,
creeping up there. But I don't know. I think I think there'll be definitely a big percentage of Hamilton's kind of feedback that will help shape that car probably going into next year. Certainly into 2026 anyway.
And yeah, look, let's talk about Russell. We'll move away from Hamilton because we could spend the whole podcast just talking about him. Really,
I want to know what Isidro had to say. I want to know what Isidro.
Oh, sorry, Isidro, go on. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I was just about to say that the feedback. I just can see that Hamilton asking for something, and he'll just hear back, "We are checking," and that's it, and nothing else until the end of the race.
Well, surely
Ranzi.
will Bono come with him to Ferrari, or is he staying at Mercedes?
You'd imagine he'd go with him.
He,
I mean, they're a partnership. I just can't imagine Bono staying at Mercedes without Hamilton. Like, I'd imagine he'd go
I don't
with
think
him.
so. Yeah, but I haven't heard anything about that transfer or anything. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there as well, whether he'll follow or not. Maybe the return of Angela as well, and we'll see the perfect trifecta. Hamilton's going to start winning stuff. It's going to happen.
Angela there massaging the car, just getting it ready to go.
Yeah. So Russell again. Great pace. There was a nice little back and forth between Russell and Hamilton, and all four. Was it an engine failure, Dave?
Water cooling, wasn't it, or the water system? So yeah, basic cooling.
And I mean, he was right there. Like very, very good race. Mercedes were on point this weekend, weren't they?
Yeah, I do you know, it's funny when they asked Russell how soon did he follow, or like when did he find out that there was an issue with the car? He was saying 10 laps earlier. I was like,
Right.
fucking well done, Sky, for being on the ball, for relaying that information to the fucking fans at home. Like,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
it's look, they have a quick car, and to be honest, I think it definitely someone said it actually on the commentary, or no, on the punditry on Sky, that they start to feel now that it's George Russell's team now. He's the number one. It's weird. I kind of got before they even said that. You get that vibe about it now that it's George Russell's number one drive now, and Hamilton's just sort of, waiting for the watch so he can head on home, like,
And we've no current replacement for Hamilton, if I'm right in saying that. And I see something coming out in the papers there today to say that even Red Bull and Mercedes haven't really ruled out looking at Sainz. The whole Perez thing is starting to creep back as well. Horner is now coming out saying that Perez not scoring points is unsustainable and frustrating. So, I mean, there could still be, even though Perez is after signing a new contract.
Mercedes are not taking Perez.
No.
Oh,
Sainz.
you mean Sainz? Sorry.
So that's, Red Bull are still, they haven't, fully kind of jumped out of the race possibly for Sainz. Do we see something there? Maybe Sainz getting a Mercedes drive?
Well, maybe. Well, I doubt it, because they're still hell bent on this Antonelli fella, aren't they? Is it Antonelli? Isn't that?
Yeah, Kimi Antonelli.
So like I'll be honest, they're missing a step if they don't just drop Schumacher in for one season to keep the seat warm and then put Antonelli in the season in 2026. Because who are you going to, like, I mean, I can't imagine Sainz is going to, well, if there's no other drives, he'll probably sign for a 1-year contract at Mercedes. But I mean, is there any top drivers that would want to go for a 1-year contract knowing that Antonelli is sitting there waiting to go? Whereas Mick Schumacher knows, okay, if Antonelli's going to be there, I'm not going to be at Mercedes next year, but it gives him an opportunity to showcase what, he can do in a good car, and maybe put him in the shop window for other teams. But,
or end his career.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if Haas didn't end his career, like, I don't think Mercedes will.
Yeah, fair. He chopped a few of those cars in half, in fairness, and he's still kind of around there. Yeah, Cedric, go on.
So what David's saying is, put Mick Schumacher instead of being behind Toto the whole race. He's just driving the car, and put Kimi Antonelli behind Toto the whole race. He's just whispering in the ear.
Yeah.
But we can also see that Max, by the end of this season, would just go for Mercedes, and then Sainz go to Red Bull. Because if Max is seeing that Red Bull is going down and it will be just another one, and Mercedes is going up, I'm pretty sure Toto Wolff would appreciate the Max Verstappen there.
Ooh, interesting.
If Verstappen left Red Bull, they are in a world of fucking trouble, because Sainz will not get. Sainz is a great driver, but he will not squeeze what Verstappen gets out of that car.
No,
he won't be as bad as Perez. That's another conversation, but he's definitely. I doubt he'll even be up there challenging for the wins as frequently. So I'd say if Red Bull lose Max, they're in trouble. Like,
Right, so we didn't fully move on even to the next driver that has finished.
We're just ranting here.
We're
Fuck
still we got caught up there. Verstappen P2. I mean, the pace just isn't there, Dave. Or sorry, Isidro, I'll let you take this one. He's fighting that car consistently week after week, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Red Bull is no longer the fastest car in the grid, and now it's showing the days of seeing Verstappen finishing 20, 30 seconds ahead of everyone is long gone. I mean, all the teams catch up now. If anything, McLaren is probably the fastest car now in the grid, and Verstappen will need to fight harder to win the championship this year.
Yeah.
He has a solid advantage, 100 points, but I don't think that's enough because Red Bull is not fast. So right now it's just Max really trying to push the best he can of that Red Bull.
Yeah.
Because the car alone is no longer faster. Max is a good driver, but he needs to try harder. And he's the only one in Red Bull doing points. So the championship, he might win, but Red Bull is at risk of losing the Constructor Championship at this pace.
Yeah, the Sharks are definitely circling in the form of many Mercedes cars. Haas coming out of nowhere recently. Oh, they're Ferrari, sorry. The McLarens and the actual Mercedes cars both circling around the wilting Red Bulls. But Max coming out and saying, Dave, it didn't look great. At some point, I was really thinking, are we going to finish 5th or 6th? Which is crazy, but it was just the right calls that they made at the right times to get them into the position that they were in. Was he lucky to get P2 in the end?
Again, I think it just comes down to the McLarens. I think he should have, realistically, I think he should have had P5 probably would have been where he was at. I think had Russell and the McLarens not botched their fucking race, I think Verstappen would have finished P5, but just the events of the race went in his favor, so he got P2. Also, going on the hard tire was good for him at the end. Like it kind of went to their strengths, and also he was able to absolutely drive the bollocks out of those tires and not be under any kind of risk towards the end of the stint or towards the last laps. Whereas everybody kind of went on the best tire they possibly could have gone on, except for McLaren. Yeah. So I think the events is what led to Max getting P2, but otherwise, I think 5th was probably where they would have been at had everybody run a good race. Great to see. It makes it more interesting, in fairness. Well, considering I think at the start of this season, we just kind of go, I'm pretty sure if we went back to our first podcast or second podcast, we went, just give him the trophy now, and move on to 2025. Like it's written off. And then, it's gone the way it's gone. And I'll be honest, I don't think Red Bull are going to win the Constructors title this year. I think Perez is going to fuck them on that one. And I don't think Max is going to win every race now going forward. So I think between those two, I don't think they're going to win it. I'd say probably McLaren are the more stronger double finishing drivers out there, that the two of them are usually consistently neck and neck. So I'd say McLaren are going to win the Constructors this year. Yeah, and the lovely segue, Dave, because we're going to go straight into McLaren. A real sign of the times, Lando saying, I know it's a podium at the BritishGP, but I'm fed up of just saying I should have done better and I should have done this and that. I could have done this or whatever. I don't care if it takes time. I don't want it to take time. I should be doing it right now. We should be winning now. I should be making better decisions than what I'm making. Really disappointed with himself. And that's a real sign of where McLaren are, isn't it? That he's so disappointed with a P3, whereas, last season he would have been delighted with a P3. But he's often made poor decisions as well. I mean, like we go back to his first potential, where he could have had his first potential win in Sochi. Yeah. And he decided to stay out, and that was his call. And he's had a few calls where he just hasn't made the right decision. Yesterday's race. It was a combination of he made the wrong call, but he shouldn't have been in a position to make the wrong call. I think the pit crew should have been kind of like, no, we got a brand new set of mediums. We're quick on these tires. And Hamilton's on softs. He's still got whatever it was at the time, 16 laps or something to go. If we push him on the mediums, his tires are going to go off way before yours, and we've got the pace. Like, they knew that. I don't understand the decision makings from McLaren at the weekend was, well, two major decisions anyway, but that one leaving it up to Lando to make the decision, that was you weren't covering Hamilton by putting softs on. That was just stupid. Like, so yeah, that was as much as we say he's made some poor mistakes. Again, I think the team should maybe cushion him from that, and they could have stepped in there and prevented him from making that mistake, because they could see clearly what the facts were and what he should have been racing on.
I mean, as you said, that's the pit wall's job. It's their job to look at. Roy Keane jumped into my head there. That's their job. It is their job, though, to figure out, the stuff that the driver isn't informed about. He's not there. He can't see all this stuff. He needs to be informed by the pit wall. And should it be a case of they're giving Norris a little bit too much respect, not respect, but they're giving him too much power in the car, and they're not stepping up and going, you need to do this now. We know what's best here. Is it drivers taking too much control there?
No, like, I think the pit crew didn't, or the pit wall didn't take enough responsibility, and they should have. What they should have done is says, look, we feel mediums is the best option to go on. Lewis went out on softs. He's going to be struggling towards the end. We're good on the mediums. We have a brand new set of mediums. Give him the facts, tell him the reasoning for it, and say, listen, this is the optimal strategy we think you should be on. And then if he comes back and says, no, I feel confident on the softs, put the softs on the car, then that's different. Then that you're saying, okay, we gave him all the facts. The driver overrode our freaking overridden. Whatever. Overrode just sounds wrong. But anyway, our decision, and then the responsibility lies at his feet. But in this instance, I don't think, because you could clearly hear the radio talk. They were like, "Do you want the mediums or do you want the softs?" And you're like, "That's not how you should relay that information to him."
Yeah, it's a very, very Ferrari way to go about things. Isidro, it wasn't the only thing that McLaren messed up. They messed up Piastri's race as well. Give me your thoughts on Piastri and McLaren sticking a wedge up his arse.
Yeah, Piastri was also a victim of the bad strategy from McLaren. The fact that they didn't stop both pilots, they didn't double stack basically, and that screwed up Piastri, because McLaren could have two cars fighting for the podium, and Piastri just ended up going for what? He dropped to 6 and then had to fight his way up again, and that was a bad call from McLaren that threw up his race. And you could see Piastri disappointed, let's say that, with the call that was made. It's sad because McLaren could definitely got 2 men in the podium.
Yeah. Look, we live in hope for the next race as well, that McLaren can recover and actually attack this championship.
I'm surprised, sorry, just before we move on, I was surprised that Oscar Piastri ended up 4th. That just showed the pace that Norris would have had they put the medium tires on his car. But I actually, when they didn't do the double stack, and then when he was coming, I thought he was going to come back way back I thought he was going to be finishing sort of 8th or something like that. But yeah, 4th was a good result still after that fuck up.
Again, just shows you the pace of that car. Let's delve into it, lads. First of all, let's talk about Leclerc. We'll get to Sainz, because I think Sainz did Sainz have much going on, Dave, in this race, or was it just kind of a silent, kind of nice 5th place, chilling out there?
Like he had he was putting pressure on the Mercedes every now and again, and especially when the kind of the change in the weather and stuff like that. He was there or thereabouts, but again, you never got the feeling that they were going to be able to compete any further than that. Like, so yeah, he held a good race. I mean, I think where they were, not to be getting embarrassed by Haas, was probably the best they could hope for. Although, to be fair, I mean, I think they only finished about 8 seconds ahead of a Haas. So that in itself is probably embarrassing. But look, at least they didn't finish behind them. Well, one of them didn't anyway.
It does. It just shows you. I'm looking at the times here. You've got Piastri and Norris there, +7 and +12 away from Hamilton. And then you look down and you see Sainz is plus 47.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And then the next one you have is plus 55, plus 56. So the big gap between McLaren and Ferrari is there for all to see, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And these were the gaps that you were seeing just for Verstappen having.
Yeah.
Remember, like that was the gap from first to second with those 30s and 40 seconds. Like, and now you're seeing it from fourth and fifth down to the next. And it's just it's a bit unusual that it's a Ferrari though that's still there. But I think Ferrari has still come good. I think their car is sort of in that sort of development phase where they're good on certain tracks. It's very track specific. Whereas I think Mercedes, McLaren, and those guys have kind of got an all-around good car now that they can tweak for individual tracks. Whereas Ferrari, I think, are still reliant on individual circuits that favor them at the moment.
Yeah. And poor old Charles Leclerc, I mean, he came to the media pen and he was just done. I think he wanted to. He wants to be the one now that's leaving Ferrari. His comments were, "I don't even know what to say anymore when I'm coming here to the TV pen. We've just got to reset as a team. But yeah, there's always one different reason that it doesn't click, and that makes it even more difficult to analyze and jump forward. So we'll just try pull everything together in Budapest." I mean, it's just he's so dejected.
Criminal.
And his eyes, like in behind his eyes, he was dead.
Why do they keep gambling in the rain? Like they gambled on the early stop with the intermediates, and then they just fucking went off straight away. Oh, it's just they just do these knee-jerk reactions. Oh, we're gonna gamble, and then we're gonna get him up the top. Just fucking play it safe. Get him on a good set of tires. He has some pace. You'll work your way up into the points. No, not Ferrari. We're gonna gamble and show that we're the smartest fucking guys in the room.
Yeah,
and you just end up being a moron.
They're killing him. They're really killing Charles Leclerc. Yeah. It's so sad to see. Isidro, any hope of Leclerc getting anywhere near the top 10 anytime soon?
No, I don't think so. Unless the trip to Hungary that will take 2 weeks clear the heads of the strategies in Ferrari.
Yeah,
I don't think his luck will change anytime soon. We could see the look of a defeated man thinking, "Oh." I think he's the one should be crying after each race at the moment.
Everyone's crying at Ferrari these days. It's all just floods of tears. Poor old Charles. Yeah, I hope for him like that they do put it together and they get him somewhere in the top 10 because it's just sad to see. There's been this whole talk for as long as I can remember this season now about Leclerc's qualifying time and not being able to put it together in qualifying, and then it just ekes its way into the race day as well. You'd hope for his sake that something starts to turn for them.
Do you think he's just well, but it's not just him as well. It's like everybody. It's like he has bad qualifying, then bad race, and then the team making poor decisions, and then people obviously leaving the team, and it's just a shit show from fucking start to finish the whole weekend, inside and out.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Yeah. Fuck, I'd hate to be Hamilton going into that team.
Yeah. Go on, Isidro.
And interesting is Leclerc is the man staying. You're the man that Sainz is leaving. He's the one getting all the shit happening, and they don't care.
Yeah.
But no, it's the man staying that gets all the problems, all the bad decisions. And Sainz is leaving on a high note.
Go on, Dave.
I was gonna say this would be like Red Bull coming out and saying we're letting Max Verstappen go and we're giving SergioPerez a new contract, and you're like, what the fuck? It's like they're giving they're letting the most consistent performer go and keeping the guy that just cannot get a result.
Can you imagine Bonotto sitting at home now with a glass of wine, just swirling it, going, "Yep, I fucking told you."
I know there's someone there thinking, can we tempt Ross Brawn back here?
Sad old times for Ferrari. Not so sad times for a Ferrari customer. Haas are fucking killing it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Dave. Hulkenberg started P6 and somehow finished P6. What's going on?
I don't know. I hate talking about Haas. I wish you'd ask Isidro this, especially as it's a positive. I don't know. I mean, what's that? 2 races. Didn't he finish 6th in Austria as well?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, like, I seriously doubt it's the fact that Gunther Steiner's gone. But I honestly don't know. I can't imagine this is sustainable and they're going to be staying in around the best of the rest for the rest of the season. Like I'd imagine we're going to get to Hungary or Belgium or something like that, and they're going to be, back in 12th, 13th, 14th, and we're going to be like, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
But then again, this has been coming. Like, this is like Nico Hülkenberg has been having really good qualifyings, and now it's sort of translating into the races as well. Like, so, go on, Isidro.
Go on, Isidro.
What if it's the opposite? Instead of going 12, 13, we see Hülkenberg in the podium for the next 4 or 5
that'd
races.
be horrible. I'd just give up on Formula One if Haas were on the podium.
What are we thinking about, Isidro? I'll give you this one. What do you think about Ollie Berman signing for Haas?
Sorry.
Dave, keep your peace. You're happy?
I think
no, go on.
I think he deserves the seat. It's just too bad that apparently he's going to pair with Ocon. I don't think he's the best teammate to start the F1 career.
Is that confirmed?
Almost, I think.
Oh shit! What a crappy card to deal a young driver. Here you have Ocon. Fuck.
And Haas.
Oh, lad. Okay. His dad, do you remember the way he was when he was driving for Ferrari? He was just ecstatic and he was scared for him. I mean, Ollie Berman's dad needs to be scared now. This is going to be a horrible season for him.
You know when you go into a company and stuff like that and they show you your career path?
Yeah.
Here's your career path. Here's what you can reach if you come work for us. I mean, a rookie's career path in Haas leads to like DTM or endurance racing, or it does not lead to podiums and world championships.
A Mercedes second seat maybe for Ollie Berman coming up. Right, let's get down the grid. Funnily enough, 2 Aston Martins finishing 7 and 8, both of them inside the top 10 this week.
Something to ask on this one. Go on.
Yeah, go on. Say it.
Okay, I'm going to throw my question out.
Go for it.
What the fuck? Do we think that, like, what's happening to Alonso? Like, we've been like, let's get rid of, we've been just so hell-bent, blinkers on, get rid of Stroll, fucking daddy's team, fucking blah, blah, blah. He's consistently outperforming Alonso for ages now. So what? And now Alonso and Stroll both there for next year. Do we think Alonso's just, the tires have fallen off the cliff with Alonso, or what's going on?
I think, as you say there, like he's got the contract already in the bag. He's got nothing to fight for there, really. I mean, I think he's just kind of settled, and whatever.
That's not Alonso. Alonso would fight for a result anywhere he can get it. Like, I mean, we've seen him putting his elbows out when he's just trying to defend like fucking 10th and 11th place, like, but for some and usually it was Lance Stroll down the back of the grid and Alonso up there in his, battling for the podiums and all this. And now we've got Lance Stroll ahead of Alonso, which, okay, I know it was only 7th and 8th this time, but I mean, it's interesting.
Sad. That's what you're looking for. Sad.
Very, very sad. Let's round up the grid here, Dave. The Albon and P9's decent. Sonoda, let's ignore. Let's talk about Albon there. P9, decent result for Williams there.
Yeah, they got something to show for their flashy little livery.
Yeah.
Anytime a team does that, the one-off designs, I'm just like, I hope you don't do well. I just hate it. I hate it. I just stick with your designs. It's like when drivers change their helmets all the time. So I know you wanted to talk about Albon doing well, but
no, it's all right. Feck it. Will we go for driver of the day? Oh, sorry, Isidro, go on.
Well, a small detail about the livery is that it contains all the names of the people in the factory that contribute to the Williams car.
So all the people that contributed putting it at the back of the grid.
Yeah.
That's great.
All the name is there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Need to zoom in, but the name is there.
It's a nice little touch. Good team principle, pretty shitty car, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Dave, driver of the day. Will we move on?
Driver of the day. Yeah, let's move on. Is going to be has to be LewisHamilton for me.
Yeah, same as Isidro.
Same. Hamilton.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Loser of the day, Dave.
This is difficult because I could either go with George Russell because he should have been competing for the win, or I'll go with George Russell.
I was going to say McLaren as a team as loser of the day because, again, they could have had a 1-2.
Well,
They
will
caused
will
it themselves, though.
Actually, well, before I throw in into the mix here as my argument, Zidro, who are you going to go with?
Russell. Clearly
Okay.
very unlucky.
Okay, so then I'll hold back on my comment then because that's leading on to the next one. So George Russell is our loser of the day, 2-1. So my dickheads of the day is the McLaren fucking team.
Yeah.
Just fucking wrecked their fucking drivers' chances of a 1-2 finish today.
Yeah. I'm always tempted to give Dick of the Day to either Yuki Tsunoda or George Russell just because. But McLaren team, you just fucked up big time. You fucked your drivers. Yeah. Cedro?
Yeah. McLaren pit crew, definitely.
Yeah, that's it.
Dead on the money. Right, Dave, will we get into the predictions game?
Right. The big show. All right, so we'll do a quick recap. Like there's fucking three of us. Like, but right, Scotty and Isidro both on 18 points at the top of the table, and I'm in second on 9 points. All right, so let's get down to it. My double points didn't come off, but anyway. I went with Lando Norris P1. That did not happen. I went with Verstappen P2. And I went with Hamilton P3. So, oops, I forgot to put one point in there for Verstappen. Verstappen, yeah.
Oh, yeah, very good. I went for Norris P1, which should have happened. I went for Russell P2, which could have happened. And I went for Hamilton P3, which also could have happened. But no. Goose eggs all around.
Max P1, Norris P2, and Hamilton P3.
Goose eggs for everyone, except for me.
Well done. Done, David.
I got a point. All right, my flop, I went with K-Mag outside the top 10, and for a second there, I thought that was not going to happen, but it did.
Second, 12.
Yeah.
So what did I go for? I went for Ricciardo outside the top 10, which was a lovely safe bet. Yeah. He finished P13. Boy, Danny Rick.
Oh, is he
stupid mustache?
The wrong Ferrari?
Yeah, Sainz outside top 10.
Achie.
Goose egg. And I also fucking fucked up on the Ferrari. For my surprise, I thought I was so cocky when I picked this. I was like, this is a sure thing. Like, Leclerc top 10 finish. No. In hell, like 14th.
And I was teetering over your shoulder, just watching what you were writing very carefully on your exam, and I was like, I'm going to fucking steal that. And I said Leclerc top 10, and I also got no fucking points for that. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, Jesus. Well,
failed.
If ours went bad, Zidro's went really fucking bad.
Yeah, I was feeling French with Gasly P8.
And
that did not even start.
Didn't even start the race.
Hilarious.
Now, I think this is it could be the first week I've actually won. I got 2 points.
Oh, you did? Yeah, actually. Yeah, sorry.
Zidro got none. I think this is literally the first time this season I've won one.
Well done, Dave.
And a recap on the tables now means that Scotty has taken the lead on 19.
Hilarious.
Zidro's second on 18, and I'm finally catching up on 11.
This game can turn around very quickly, Dave. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right. Now, let's see. All right, let me just fucking set up our... Oh, Jesus, I made a fucking show of myself. Okay, here we go. Right, so the Hungarian Grand Prix. Sorry, didn't have
I'm going safe this time.
Oh, yeah. So do we have a 2-week break now until it's the 19th and the 21st, 19th to 21st of July, is it?
Yeah,
right.
We're fuck all now until...
Beautiful.
Yeah, we're too lazy to fucking bring out something midway between. All right. For my top 3, I am going with, I'm going to go Norris.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Ooh.
No, sorry. Correction. Russell. Fuck. No, I'm going Hamilton. I'm going to reinvigorated Hamilton. And I'm going to go Verstappen.
Oof.
3.
Okay.
I can't yet bump Verstappen out of a podium.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Even though I don't think they're the fastest. Anyway, yeah, go on.
I'm gonna go for Oscar Piastri to get his first win. I'm going to say Lando Norris P2. There's going to be something to do with tires there that's going to bump Piastri in front of Norris, and then I think it's going to be George Russell P3. I'm bumping Verstappen. I'm taking a big swing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I could easily have gone Hamilton and Russell 2
Yeah.
and 3. Like, you know, it's
Yeah.
who are you going with?
I'm going with Max, Norris, and Russell.
Oh,
Verstappen, Norris, and Russell.
isn't it funny how Verstappen in first isn't just a lock nowadays? Remember last season it was just Verstappen.
We would always, yeah, exactly, 100%.
Mad. Absolutely mad.
All right, my flop.
I mean, there's a
lot to
few.
choose from.
There's a few there. I mean, we're good. We rich gravy here today, guys.
Yeah. But I mean, you say that, but I mean, it's been so unpredictable. I mean, fucking Leclerc was a lock for a top 10
Yeah,
finish.
true,
like.
true.
I'm gonna go with fuck. I'm gonna go with Albon outside the top 10.
Ah,
Oh,
damn, that was
God,
going to be
you are.
my one.
Mine too. I'm not
Yeah.
changing it.
Yeah, no one wanted to go first.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm going. Yeah, no, I'm going to go Tsunoda outside the top 10. I'm just going to try and do something different. Albon outside is a lock, though, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that car is just like that car well overperformed in Silverstone, like for me.
Yeah.
All right, Zero.
Albon outside top 10.
All business.
Side.
Didn't give a fuck that someone else picked it.
Yeah. It's so unfortunate for Isidro that he has to go last the whole time.
I mean, like, I'm doing it for my surprise.
Yeah.
It's
Go on.
Leclerc.
Oh, you're such a dick.
Oh.
Although, I don't know how sure that is, to be honest.
Now, the only thing is, I need the points, and I'll be honest, I'm going to wait till later in the season to start going for the Hail Marys and the 2-pointers. Like, so for now, I'm just playing it safe. I'm going to creep those points in. When I get to within about 4 points and 3 or 4 races left, then I'm going the Hail Marys. Like,
Yeah. I'm going to take a huge punt here. It's going to be massive. This is going to end everything. I'm going to
you're in
say...
the lead now. Like,
I know, but I'm going to take a big swing. I'm going to say Sergio Perez inside the top 10. I'm going big.
Oh, that's big.
no, wait, hang on. Can we?
It actually is huge, in fairness. This is not a sure thing. I'm not sure that he will actually do this.
Perez top 10.
It's scary stuff.
Do you know? If I put in my flop as Perez DNF, I think that would be more of a sure thing than Perez in the top 10.
Yeah.
That's I don't even see him finishing the race. But
It's
anyway,
mad, absolutely mad. Isidro.
Pedro, who you got?
Well, I had picked Leclerc inside top 10, but since they've already have that,
You can't copy my flop and my surprise.
no. I'm gonna put Tsunoda. Oh wait, no. Ricardo inside top 10.
Ricardo inside top 10.
Ricardo. Oof.
Yeah.
So between myself and Scotty, one of us gonna be happy.
Anyone? No one wanted to go with a Hulkenberg fucking third P6 in a row for a double points. No.
Can you imagine if he did that? It's almost impossible for that to happen.
I'd nearly, if anyone put that in their surprise, I'd nearly give someone 3 points for that if Hulkenberg got P6.
Oh, it has to be
God.
P6. Has to be P6, not inside the top 10.
P6, yeah.
All right,
No, it
yeah.
has to
No, I'm
be
not
P6,
taking
top 10.
not taking that. That's too outside.
Yeah, that's they're the odds.
Well, we could add a bonus thing.
What's the bonus? Like just
The Brucey
we all get
bonus.
3 points.
Yeah.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. No, that's it. It's locked in. That's the Hungarian GP locked in for 2 weeks' time. And we are doing fucking nothing between now and then because we are super lazy. Get used to it. And until then, we will see you next time.